I don't run from my past. I'm not a good person. I never have been a good person.
Game only cares about himself and leave the world to no conscience. Tonight, Triple H doesn't care about anybody but himself.
You think one match makes someone the best? You think one match makes a man the best? You think putting a belt around your waist one time means that you're the best? I got news for you. What makes you the best is coming to this ring and defending a title night after night, month after month, year after year. That's what makes you the best. And that's what I've done. And whether you like it or not, I have beaten them all. And that's why this morning, when I got up, I looked at myself in the mirror, and I still knew without a shadow of a doubt that I am the best at what I do, that I am the greatest professional wrestler alive today.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trip Around the Multiverse with your host, the Connecticut Blue Blood Carl Charles. And
well, going old school there.
yeah, man.
All right, and I'll modernize it. And the Cerebral Assassin, T.Y. Chung.
See, I was going to use that one, but I thought, nah, that's too.
Well, you know, it's funny because I was going to use your one if you did. You know. So on this episode, we're going to have a look back at the career of Triple H, but not the character, right? The man behind the character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Paul Levesque.
Yeah.
As he recently retired.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
What I'm finding. Okay, first of all, right, I mean, we have to start speaking about some of the gimmicks, but we won't go into the character.
Yeah.
I think the Connecticut Blue Blood gimmick, where he was super posh.
Yeah.
Right? But not, right? Well, had the limited shelf life.
Yeah, because...
I mean, more wrestling lifetime to it, because he had to change up. You can't. How far can you get just being a snob?
Yeah, because that was set all the same gimmick he had in WCW, but...
When he was terrorizing.
Yeah, but he had a French accent, if I'm correct.
yeah, Jean-Paul Levesque.
Yeah. My boy. Yeah. I didn't watch him in WCW, if I'm honest.
No, I think he only had a handful of matches, then was a jobber.
Yeah, then he left for greener pastures.
Yeah. I will say this, right? I never took notice of him when he was essentially Shawn Michaels' sidekick in DX, right?
Yeah.
But when he became the lead of DX himself, like once Shawn Michaels was out of the picture, I felt like he became more of himself to a degree that it's more of something that had a unlimited lifetime gimmick.
Yeah, I get that.
All it needs to make certain adjustments, right? But he found his own identity by that point.
Yeah.
Even though you could say he just took parts of Shawn Michaels' characters and applied it to himself to a certain degree.
I don't know, because for some reason, to me, Triple H's character Hunter Hearst Helmsley at this point, before he became Triple H.
Yeah.
That seemed more of a real life gimmick, if that makes sense, rather than Triple H. Rather than Shawn Michaels, because Shawn Michaels...
No, yeah, but what I mean is like we're talking personality traits and character bits, certain character bits. Well, obviously he's not going to be the sexy boy gimmick because that's not it. But what I'm saying is, certain obnoxiousness or certain it's all about me ego-ness, that sort of thing. I don't want to say he took the wrong lessons from Shawn Michaels. He did take the right lesson, but then Shawn Michaels was also the wrong person to apply these lessons from because he's only a maniac himself.
Yeah. But I don't know, if, some bits of Shawn Michaels at the time, I felt like he was putting on an act rather than Triple H. Kind of felt like that was actually a slightly elevated version of himself.
Well, yeah. To be fair, you're right. And I will say some Shawn Michaels is putting on an act, but we'll put it this way, right? When you're drugged out, over the top and paranoid, right?
Yeah.
How much of it is act and how much is it actually pretending that you're not what all of that is, you know?
That is true.
Yeah. So But applying that to Triple. Okay, first of all, are you a Triple H fan? How much of a fan of Triple H?
I am a huge Triple H fan. Always have been. Always will be.
Right. So I was a Triple H fan when he was the leader of DX, right?
Yeah.
But then later on, some shenanigans that happened, and we're talking about years later, right?
Yeah.
You're like Triple H, right? I can give you some respect, but I can't give you some respect at the same time. It's more of right. So all these good wrestlers come in, right? And you make sure you wrestle them, but then you make sure you beat them.
Yeah,
Right.
get that.
Yeah, and then it's like, well, sometimes you have a good match with them to make you look good as well, right? Because you understand how that's set up, right? But at the same time, you make sure you win, so they're going to get elevated above you. Or if they do win, like you remember when Jericho won the title, quote unquote won the title, but didn't win the title.
Yeah.
All right, so that was the Triple H was champion. Jericho was on a hot streak as the number 2 babyface behind The Rock.
Maybe.
Well, it was definitely one of the top 2 babyfaces, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was in a feud with Triple H. Earl Hebner was in the middle of this, whatever, right? Point is, Triple H was getting pinned by Jericho like a moonsault, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Fast count by the ref, of course, right? Because that was the part of the dispute.
Yeah.
Ref runs off. Jericho gets up from the moonsault. Not even gets up, but he kind of gets on his knees and celebrates. And Triple H eventually just sits up from the lion salt, no sell, and gets on with his angle. It's just like, yeah, so not, I mean, fair enough, you got to trace Earl Hebner, right? But literally, you said that you took that lion salt and then came off with 0 damage. Isn't that not what Ultimate Warrior did to you? And
Are you
upset
sure that this is how that happened? Because I remember watching it and that didn't happen like that.
No. Unless I'm watching the highlight clips where it makes it seem like that, right? Literally, Earl Hebner ran out after the 3 count. The acolytes were outside. Triple H just basically shrugged off the lion salt, right? He did. Okay, first of all, I exaggerate of how much he did it, right? But basically, he went to chase Earl Hebner. And it's just like, yeah, but shouldn't you? I mean, wouldn't it be better if Earl Hebner slipped out the ring, Triple H was standing in the lion stop for a little bit, eyes up Earl Hebner, and just then runs at him?
Yeah.
But that's not the first time he's done so. First of all, this is not tearing him down. I'm just pointing out there are negatives of the positives, right?
Yeah.
When I know you're probably we're gonna say positive things as well. I mean, we're gonna stack that up, but I'll just start with some of the things that irked me about Triple H's ego, and then you can say whether you agree with them or not.
Yeah.
There was the match with the Hardys, and to be fair, this is on Stone Cold as well, where the Hardy Boys were in a few were against the 2-man power trip, which is Stone Cold and Triple H, and when the Hardys attacked them, they sold whenever they kind of wanted to-ish. And when they attacked the Hardys, obviously the Hardys were expected to sell that for them. This was when Triple H had the Intercontinental title, right?
Yeah.
And this is when he had a one-on-one match with Jeff Hardy. He battered Jeff Hardy, and then Matt Hardy came and interfered, and Triple H got caught with a finish, and he got pinned, right? Jeff Hardy wins the title after being mullered, right? And Matt Hardy was helping him stand up after he rolled out the ring. But I was completely to focus not on the winner, but on the loser, because that's part of his storyline, right? So the next week, Triple H has a match with Jeff Hardy, beats him, right? And wins the title back. And then Triple H decides he's going to book himself another match with Jeff Hardy afterwards, just to put an exclamation point on how he is above Jeff Hardy's tier. Yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
That's right. To be fair, obviously, all this point was where Triple H is super paranoid about his position. So,
What, storyline wise?
well, in real life as well.
How?
I mean,
Alright.
you don't just bury a guy. Okay, let me tell you a couple other points, and then we move on to another thing, right?
Alright.
There was the other match, I think Armageddon 2009, or was it 8, where Jeff Hardy won the match against Triple H, and this was number 1 contenders title thing for Randy Orton's title. And everyone knew, well, I say everyone, right? Everyone expected Triple H to win, of course, right?
Yeah.
So then to the counter booking to expectation, WWE decided to make Jeff Hardy win with a rolled up a pedigree.
Yeah.
And basically Triple H no sold it. Well, no, he's like, after the pin, Jeff Hardy rolls out of the ring. Triple H is like looking at Jeff Hardy's thing. You got me, you sly boy, you got me, with a little smirk, like, oh yeah. And I'm like, and I don't know why it's always against Jeff Hardy. By the way, do you remember the championship scramble matches?
Yeah.
So just for people that don't know, it's a match where the champion, 6 people in the ring, champion has the title. Anyone can be pinned by anyone, and they're temporary title holders, right? But only the last person who holds the title when the 30-minute time limit runs out is the actual
champion. Yeah.
So Brian Kendrick. Oh, by the way, they all come in at 5-minute intervals or something like that, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
So Brian Kendrick won the title, right? During for the interim thing, yeah. I think Triple H comes in, just pedigrees Brian Kendrick to pin him 1, 2, 3, right? And then Jeff Hardy pins someone. Like, I think he swanton someone on the side while Triple H is like, set up doing his game pose, right? He pins someone 1, 2, 3, right? And then, because he's selling the swanton bomb or whatever he is in the corner, Triple H then looks at Jeff Hardy, picks up Brian Kendrick, pedigrees Brian Kendrick, and pins him again. I'm like, right? Okay. Sure. I mean, was that necessary?
No.
Yeah. But no. Some of these things are jokes as well. I have to say, the stuff that this guy has, like, he's done negative things in his career to hold people down, but he's also done things where you're like, he must have a sense of humor. At the same time, he shouldn't have done that. We know Katie Vick, right?
Yeah, but he was against that altogether. When you hear about it,
but he did. Not to say he should have did it or didn't do it, but he still actually did it.
Yeah, because this is
job, and I think he should have vetoed that. Personally,
I don't know. When you're getting paid huge money, you got to do things you don't want to do.
That's partially why he did it. To be fair, yeah. But I give him my credit.
In hindsight, of course. Yeah, no, you shouldn't have done it. But at the time, you're like,
but the fact that he did do it tells me that he'll go through these things.
Yeah.
Like, not even if there's a good payoff or something. Like, just like if he's put in a situation where he's like, do it.
Yeah, I guess I have to do it. Yeah, I respect it.
I'll do my best to make it kind of. I mean, he comes to the funeral home. Oh, it's me, Kane, the big red machine. Is anyone here? I'm like, what? He's just goof. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna be a goof about it. It's stupid, but I'll be stupid within it.
Yeah, I'll just carry on. I have to. Yeah. So you're giving that,
Yeah.
Other people would have went home and cried about it.
Well, some people might have walked out of the company and said, "No, I ain't doing this shit."
Yeah, and then look very on.
But I mean, look, there's always going to be negatives and positives. So, as I've already said some negative things, you say some positive things. I'll agree, and then we'll move on to. We'll flip it back and forth.
Sort of feeding back onto some of the things you mentioned.
Yeah.
When I think that whole Jericho thing, when people claiming no sold or whatever. When Jericho did finally win the title, that was a bigger achievement than this. Because think about it, if he won the title through that, it would have been kind of cheap.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I'm not saying whether or not he. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that particular instance where he decided not to sell was the problem.
Yeah.
Though it did lead to a really good last man standing match.
Yep.
Which Triple H made sure he won, right?
Yeah.
But they gave a storyline for Jericho. He had his rib injury and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's fine. Not that, I mean, yeah. Sometimes in wrestling, right, you would expect the good guy to win, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes when Triple H is involved, not necessarily always Triple H, by the way, sometimes the villains win.
Yeah, which sometimes
sometimes it doesn't make sense for them to win either, but they do.
Yeah, it's like to make it less predictable, and sometimes it adds to the greater payoff to some stories.
If it depends on
who
it is and what is going on.
Because some good bits about Triple H. In his early career, anyway.
Well, hold on. Okay, as you're saying about... Okay, now let me ask you this question. Actually.
Yeah, go for it.
What year would you say, roughly, was the best set of... I don't want to say the best Triple H matches, but not necessarily that, just the best period of time for him as a career-wise, I would say. Not necessarily progression, but just, him showing his ability.
For me, and a lot of people will disagree with this, that it was 2003 to say 2005. The whole quote-unquote Reign of Terror period.
Is that just before... Oh, so Reign of Terror to Evolution.
Yeah.
All right. I might not necessarily agree or disagree. I will say the Reign of Terror was kind of a bit of a... Do you want to explain what the Reign of Terror to the people that don't know?
Okay. Depending on who you ask, I'm not one of them. This was when he held the World Heavyweight title for, say, roughly 2 years.
Yeah.
And he buried quote-unquote people to make himself look better. Even though the people who he did bury were Goldberg, who wasn't that great, if I'm honest.
Well, so hold on. Are you starting from that period, yeah?
Yeah, that's when the Reign of Terror started, isn't it?
No, didn't it start slightly before that?
No.
When it be when he went off Shawn Michaels and then he had the matches with Scott Steiner?
No, because the Reign of Terror started before that.
Yeah, Goldberg's after.
Yeah, but the Reign of Terror started literally when he got handed the World Heavyweight title.
Oh, right, gotcha. Yeah. It's only a couple months before, but yeah.
And so he apparently buried people.
Okay, now we'll just go through. So Shawn Michaels didn't get buried, right?
No.
Shawn Michaels won. Like Triple H got handed the title. He buried Kane, but not really buried Kane.
No, he didn't really bury Kane. You can't
Kane seemed settled in a certain position by that point, right?
Yeah.
So, upper mid card. So I wouldn't say he was buried, but it didn't do him any favors with the Katie Vick angle, all right?
No.
I believe that's when Shawn Michaels then won the title at the Survivor Series Elimination Chamber, right?
That sounds right. I'm just gonna.
And then Triple H won it back off Shawn Michaels the next month, which wasn't that bad either, right?
No.
Because Shawn Michaels part time at that point. They wanted to do the fairy tale comeback, and they didn't know how long he was coming back for. So, fair enough, right? And it kind of made sense for the payoff of their story.
Yeah.
Because he's chasing Triple H is being a hero, chasing the glory of his former leader, trying to be better than him. Yeah. And this is where Scott Steiner comes in. I wouldn't say. I mean, I like Steiner, but at the same time, not this period of Steiner.
No, it was kind of terrible.
But Triple H didn't help either, right?
No, but
I wouldn't say he buried Steiner, right?
No.
I wouldn't say he buried Steiner. Just
Steiner
say he
was
didn't
kind of
help.
his own enemy at this point, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been something, but then again, with the mounting injuries and stuff he had, as well as Triple H making him. Triple H could have carried him, I guess, but he just didn't want to.
No, it's not even that. Like, he could have carried him, but then dude was, like you said, injured and stuff. That's too much to carry someone. You know what I mean? And if they did put the belt on him, it's like, oh, what do we do here?
I would say Booker T should have beat him out.
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
That's the one thing I would say should have happened.
All right.
Yeah.
Who else? Who else was in the? What was the feud after that?
The feud after that, I think that's when Evolution started to come about. After that,
yeah.
And
so
then,
there was some other feud going on, which he won obviously, but I can't remember who.
I'm looking at. No.
Goldberg was after that.
Yeah, because I think that's when Evolution happened. Oh, he did have a feud with RVD at one point as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, yeah. I mean, he could have helped RVD, but
RVD was always over, so it didn't really matter. Really.
Yes and no, but it's more like I want to let this guy get more over than me. Is the problem here?
No, I wouldn't say that because again, RVD's character's always been over. He realistically he was more over than Triple H anyway. So
that's fair. But so when when Triple H had the Elimination Chamber match, and he was injured, Goldberg should have just won the title there in that one. because he won it the next month, which was pointless anyways, right? Not pointless, but it was like, why don't you do it the month before? You were injured, okay? This guy could have taken the belt off you, and you were going to give it to him the month after anyways, but he could take the title from you until you recover and then beat him for the title, because that's how you do.
Well, if you want to go into politics reasons, Goldberg was difficult to work with at this point.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, but it made more logic for Goldberg to win the title at the Elimination Chamber.
Nah, it makes more logic to beat him to win the next one because it's a one-on-one one. So one-on-one match.
Well, with the entire Revolution in it.
Yeah. Which makes it...
No. But one thing is he's injured. He's injured at this point, right? Why hold the title when you could just be recovering? Not necessarily not recovering because you're always going to be there, right?
Yeah.
But it just is like, I'm going to hold the title because I decided I want to hold the title. You know?
I don't feel like it's like that.
All right. Well, okay. I felt it was like that because it just seemed like a prime opportunity to have Goldberg win the title, hold it for the couple of months I did hold it for anyways, and then just put it back to Triple H or whoever. I will say this though. Goldberg is supposed to be really hard to take down, as in WCW, ready to take losses and stuff like that, right? Kick out everything. And then he gets pinned from a low blow, and so Triple H low blow Goldberg, and then he took a choke slam, and then he got pinned by Triple H. I'm like, right. I kind of guess I mean logically. So here's the thing, right? Low blow, fine. Choke slam, fine. Right? Pick him up, pedigree him, fine. Right? But it's just like people kick out Kane's choke slam. It's not
at this point.
It wasn't his primary finisher. It was like mostly his finisher, but then people would kick out of it as well. So like his secondary finisher, because I guess people would. This is where they kind of not made people use the tombstone much at this point.
Yeah, because I think at this point, the choke slam was his finisher.
Well, no. People kicked out of it, so I'd say
no, not at this point. This is when, like you're saying, because Undertaker was on the other show doing the tombstone.
Yeah.
The choke slam became Kane's finisher.
No, that's what I mean. I think Kane used it mostly to finish people, but it wasn't like 100% finisher. You know what I mean? He'd get 90% of people with it, and then the upper mid card people would kick out of it. All right.
No, that's what I'm saying, because I was watching religiously at this point, and I remember like every person he beat. The only time he ever did a choke slam, tombstone to someone was when he was trying to kill Shane at this point.
Shane McMahon, right?
Yeah, when he had that weird beef of like.
Yeah, but I okay. So I like. Okay, here's the thing with Evolution faction, man.
Yeah.
They're cool, but they're also a bit like the past, present, and the future, right?
Yeah.
And the showcase of Triple H. I mean, like he was the centerpiece of it. Is what I mean. I'm not knocking on saying it's all about him. No. He was the centerpiece of it. Is what I'm saying. The main attraction was him, and he was helping elevate other guys with his mere presence.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. And to be fair, those guys did get over. Ric Flair also helped as well, but by that point he's like 60, coming up 60-ish.
He was coming up 50 at that. I don't know, because he's 70 something now, and that was like Evolution was like 20 years ago at this point.
Yeah, I will say for Triple H, he's been lucky. He's been so he's been in a lot of factions. Yeah. By the way, are we counting the Clique as a faction?
I don't know, because that's more of a backstage thing, so I wouldn't really.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, but then we are talking about the man and not the character.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, look, whether we count or not. Okay. There was also he was part of DX. Okay. Well, we was part of the DX with Shawn Michaels. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he was part of the DX where he led it, right?
Yeah.
And then he was part of the corporate ministry.
Yeah.
Well, the corporation, then the corporate ministry, right?
Yeah.
And then the 2-man power trip, and then Evolution?
Yeah.
Was there a group in the middle somewhere?
There was DX again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Shawn Michaels DX.
Era.
The 2010 one?
No, before that.
Oh. All right.
Because remember, he joined the corporate ministry and all that, and then when he became champion for the first time,
he reformed DX and Stephanie was in it. And that was like the McMahon Helmsley era of DX regime. Yeah.
So I know a backhanded compliment. I'm going to say as well. I'm just going. He attached himself to people with power. Well, good groups of people that helped him. He helped the people get over, but they also helped him get over as well. So good. And I don't mean that as a backhanded compliment. You have to have talent to still be able to do that.
Yeah.
But that just reminds me of when it was DX versus Legacy. DX being Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
Yeah.
Versus, I think Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes, right?
Yep.
And every single time, like during that match, obviously you expect, it's a tornado tag, 2 people on 2 people, right? I can't remember what happened to one of them, but I know that then through the rest of the entire match, it was always both members of Legacy against a single member. They will single out a member of DX.
Yeah.
Beat them up, and then I think the next member would, fight them on the comeback, and then they double team him until the other person revived as well. I'm like, right, fair enough. Legacy's gonna win, but throughout the entire match, the way you've positioned the match is like they basically have to double team you guys to I mean that they're not on your equal level, which. It's a bit weird when if you're trying to elevate people. If you're trying to make them sneaky heels, and they kind of. But then if they're sneaky heels, why are they using tactics and coming across smart?
That's what heels do.
Well, yeah, but then I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one.
No, because they do this in every wrestling match.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with the first set of Shield matches. They do that as well, where. They'd always be double teaming at least one member of whatever it is, because whoever the other team, someone will be out for a little bit, and then and then when Shield turn face, they fight everyone on equal terms, and sometimes it was even better than them, as we saw in certain other matches, like the Survivor Series matches and stuff like that. But I'm just pointing out, I did like how when it was Shield versus Evolution. That and Evolution being multi-world champions by this point. Triple H, Randy Orton, and Batista. Yeah, they'd all hold world titles while none of the Shield had. Yeah, but the Shield beat them in a really good match as well. So I was like, pretty good, nice. I will say, I think at a point Triple H, I mellowed out in his mindset.
I'll say that.
Because he was chasing multiple world title reigns for some reason, right? And then I think by a certain point he's like, you know what, I've had enough title reigns. I don't need to be the center of everything. Well, I don't need to be the wrestling center of everything anyways. And I think that's when he kind of got more credit in my book. It's like, I just help the like other people look good.
See, I've always felt like he has made other people look good while also making himself stay relevant.
No. Let's adjust that. He made other people look good while making himself look better. That's the best way of putting it.
Yeah, but this is my argument for him.
Yeah.
When he came up in wrestling, it was all those people who did that. So
that's fair. That's fair as well.
And that's sort of the whole point of wrestling, really. Is...
And and his friends, being Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, and Kevin Nash, were all about making themselves look better than other people. So okay. I mean, hey, look. He managed to stay he had. I think of all of those, would you say he has the longest in-ring career?
Yeah, 30 years until now. Literally until now, yeah.
Yeah.
Crap.
I mean, look, the dude had a series of good matches as well. So you can't say he doesn't have the ability.
No.
Would you say? Here's the thing, right? Here's the dicey thing.
Yeah.
Would his career be where it is if he didn't marry Stephanie?
Yeah.
Oh, you reckon?
I reckon it.
I think he
was multi-world champion before them two even got together. So
before they got together.
Yeah.
On screen, you mean?
Yeah, no, in real life, because
Oh,
they didn't
right,
get
right.
together to 2003.
Yeah,
And he was
because on
champion before
screen, I think he was champion only once or twice before they got together on screen, and the first time he was champion, he held the title for like a month.
Yeah, but even by that time, he already had like.
Oh yeah. I think they were positioning. He was positioned at a certain point, right? By 1998, 99 ish.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay. When he was the lead of DX, right? That's when I took him more credible as a upper mid card headliner, right?
Yeah.
He was on the cusp, but it was like that's where they could put him in the main events. And he'd hang with the main eventers, right?
Yeah.
But not to say, he wasn't there at their level at that point, but they needed to build more credibility to make him a world to win the world title. Not necessarily a title contender, but I mean it's like to hold it.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. So and when he did, yeah. Well, yeah, he. Do you remember the match he had with Vince McMahon?
Which one?
Okay, the no DQ match where Stephanie turned on Vince in the end.
Yeah.
Now, I never got it. This is myself, right, thinking. And this it applies to non-wrestlers as well, because, right, why would a non-wrestler be able to beat a wrestler in a wrestling match?
Yeah.
To be fair, it's a no DQ match, right?
Yeah.
And to be, if you want to allow for it, then it's because Triple H married Stephanie and Vince. It's the power of revenge and hatred and spite. That powered Vince through to the honor of his family or whatever he was, because he's meant to be the face, right? And he was nearing Triple H with the sledgehammer to finish him off. And then Stephanie come over the guardrail and said, "No, Daddy, let me do it. I'll finish him. And then she couldn't do it, and Triple H grabbed the sledgehammer, hit Vince, right?
Yeah.
And then Stephanie and Triple H embraced. I was like, oh, okay, all right. Now I did not see that one coming. I don't know if I would have had Vince be on the cusp of beating Triple H either, but that's no here or there. I was like, that's actually quite a smart move.
Yeah.
I did not expect that to be the way it was.
It's like, wow, good. Well, because not Triple H, Vince was technically a good guy at this point.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh yeah, good is gonna prevail. Then nope, he gets hit in the dick by his door.
Yeah. No. Did she turn on him? I thought she didn't turn on him. I thought she couldn't hit Triple H with a sledgehammer. He took it away from her.
Am I thinking of a different bit when they did reveal that they were in it together?
Maybe it was that. I mean, this is like 20 years ago. To be fair.
It's been a long time since I've seen this.
Yeah. So and
He's been in some good stories and feuds.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to verbally bury the guy, but he has done like shady shenanigans, especially since when that feud with Owen Hart with the European title. Yeah, where he made sure he beat Owen, but he made sure Owen did not beat him for the title.
Yeah, but again, different time.
Yeah. Well, and but I only say that because at that particular period in time, you could, like, after Montreal's screw job, you could have actually elevated Owen enough to be like someone viable in your ranks, but you just, instead of feuding Shawn Michaels, you feud a guy who's basically known as Shawn Michaels' lackey, Yeah,
but again, different times. The whole
but I'm gonna say you can only use that defense so much.
I'm not. It's not.
I'm also gonna say, I mean, I'm cherry picking bad points, but there are good points as well. Which actually, you know what? No, let's go into some good points, because I feel like I've just been ragging on the guy, and that's not what I mean to do. I just mean to be point out certain things.
Because when I'm gonna say this about everywhere wrestler, it came up in the 90s and early 2000s. They've all done dickish shit that we. Oh, I suppose someone was sworn this, but like that. People that this person did this, blah, blah, blah. No one's perfect. Everyone wants job security, and they'll do certain things they got to do.
Yeah. We'll say also that is in real life as well as wrestling life, which also has a very limited career.
Yeah.
And I think the WWE pay structure is you hold the title, you get more money. You hold a higher ranked title, you get more money.
Yeah.
You're higher up the pay-per-view card, you also get more money.
Yeah. So, and like you said, careers in wrestling could be very long or very short. So you got to make as much money as you can. And sometimes, not that I condone it, you got to step on some people to get higher so you could feed your family.
I will say is, that is also funny. Did you ever read the story about how... So Sean Benjamin got shifted to in the brand swap to Raw, I think, right?
Yeah.
And then Gregory Helms, as soon as he was sitting next to Sean Benjamin during the live segment, was basically he turned over to Sean Benjamin and said, "Yo, Sean Benjamin, this is how you take out a pedigree."
Oh wow.
And then Sean Benjamin got winning streak over Triple H.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh well, that's extra funny.
See, but again, he put over Shelton Benjamin.
Oh, okay. I want to say, look, he put over people that he knew wouldn't be too much of a threat to him. Because as good as Shelton Benjamin is, we won't say he had the charisma or main event level talent.
But he.
Yeah. I will also say with Chris Benoit, who got wins off Triple H.
Yeah.
Chris Benoit was good in the ring, but not super charismatic.
No.
Yeah.
Far from.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So that's that. I think Eugene got a win over Triple H at one point, right?
Yeah.
But you can only go far with a mentally disabled
character that doesn't age well.
Like it was like you should not. That's not something you should do. That gimmick is not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hindsight 2020. I mean, it's a gimmick that should have never been done.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, that was hilarious.
But I felt, I don't know. Are you saying that the Reign of Terror was when he had his best high the points in his career? Yeah.
Yeah, and then after when he sort of stopped chasing the title, sort of thing, like when he had those matches with Taker at WrestleMania and all that, and he sort of started becoming more of a part timer. That was other good times in his career, if I'm honest.
I will say also, when was that feud with Jericho? Was that 2001?
No, that was 2000, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think he had a decent.
2001?
I think.
Oh, wait. The one when after Jericho won the Undisputed title or before?
No, the one before that one.
Yeah, I think that was like 2000-ish, 2001.
Yeah. So I think he had a good run during the 2001, 2002, 2000. Sorry, to 2001. This is the 2-man power trip to the quadriceps injury, right? Yeah. Well, I mean that's the natural endpoint. Unfortunately, that's why I'm saying the quadriceps injury.
Yeah, because that's when he was gone for like a year, innit?
Yeah. But he did have a series of good matches there with everyone, and he was in main event level feuds and stuff like that. And he would lose to certain people as well, like Kane and whatnot. So he wasn't too spotlight hugging.
No.
Right? But I will say this, right? As much as people like to work through injuries, when he tore his quadricep off the bone, he should have not put like as much as you can do minimal stuff. You should not be putting yourself in the walls of Jericho, right?
Yeah.
Well, not putting yourself, allowed yourself to be put.
Yeah.
Finish the match, right? Okay, you're gonna do much damage to yourself just finishing the match, even if you only got like 2-3 minutes left.
Yeah.
Do not take that move on the table as well. Regardless, just leave it. Just leave it be.
Yeah.
But
he's a real man.
Well, no, that's the thing. I don't. Yes and no, because you'd be like, it's going to actually take you longer to recover by doing that, and you're going to cause yourself more injury by doing that. You don't know how bad it is. If it's something that you reckon you can shrug off and you realize how bad it was, that's one thing, right? But he knew how bad it was.
Yeah, but he wants to give the people what they wanted. So
I would have grappled with Jericho and just said, "Give me a chair, hit the chair on my leg or something like that, on the knee or something." Not like try to, because then you can sell it, right?
Yeah.
But the walls of Jericho, you're actually in. I know you're supposed to do your back, but you need to grab the legs to do that, and it's just like, nah. What would you say though? And like you say, because he's a real man, right? Fair enough.
No, I'm saying
during that time. Sorry.
No, I was joking. I was joking about the real man, but like.
Oh no! But the mentality through that time, and I don't get it as well, is work through your injury. Like you're just going to cause yourself so many problems in the future.
But people still do it to
short-term.
this day. So
Yeah, I know. Which is why I'm like, I don't get that. But I will say when he had that injury, where he had to wear the biker.
Yeah.
Why? It's like, I don't see why you needed to do that. Like, fair enough if it's an injury, you could be out for a month and heal for it, because then you can continue the feud, have other things happen, and you don't actually need to wrestle.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, okay, we'll work through the injury, but sometimes there's no need to do that. Sometimes
there's no need.
Storyline for like an extended amount of time.
Yeah.
Let's just say you had an injury, right?
Yeah.
You had the title, you had an injury, and then I was like, I attacked you, I smashed a chair over your hand, or whatever, like, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever, right? And then you have to take a couple of weeks to recover.
Yeah.
You know.
Like, I get it. I like people in the Olympics do the exact same thing. So like when you're caught up in the moment, you sort of like, let's finish this.
Yeah.
And then I can hopefully go off to heal.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, people do it all the time. Like, it's stupid, but I respect people who do it. Like, if it was a broken neck, then different story. Because like,
no,
that's
well,
dumb,
look, so, to a certain level, I will respect people that do it, and then after that certain level, I'll be like, you're being stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only I say that because I broke my ankle, right? In wrestling. And I'm like, yeah, no. And then I tried. I had to go for the finish, and I was like, forget it. I can't barely stand. I'll just set out everything else and just go do the end bit. Because you know, when you can't stand, what can you do?
Yeah, nothing.
But that wasn't a muscle tear as well. A muscle tear would have been like that sort of injury is evil. Broken bone, you don't feel the pain.
Yeah, muscle tear, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's craziness, but
yeah,
he's done it. Wait, more than once.
Yeah,
because that time that's when he tore his quad. Then he tore his quad again, if I remember correctly, in I think it was 2006.
I tell you also something kind of odd. What do you think of his ring gear? I know when I say ring gear, right? I know he's just simply wearing trunks now.
Yeah.
Okay. But before he wasn't.
This is. I'll be honest. When he was wearing the long like the tights, I didn't take him that seriously.
Wait, which tights? Were you talking the riding, the horse riding, whatever they were called?
Yeah, that. And then when he kind of transitioned to the long. I can't remember they like the legs were always black, but then like the middle bit with a different color, whatever. With Triple H. Like I didn't really take him serious as main eventer or anything. But when he left DX and he came out in the trunks, that's when I was like, you know what, this guy is gonna be world champion, and he was. That's when I started taking him more seriously, and he came out wearing the chain metal, all that stuff, and changed the beat to. That's when I was like, yeah, this guy. He's my guy.
I have to say, it was weird for me to see him in the trunks at the beginning.
Yeah.
But you're so used to it now, you're like, oh, you know what? Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's just when you suddenly shift from that to that, you're like, I don't know, if they're always in trunks or whatever, you're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But then when they switch over, after like they covered up their legs for so long, you're like, all right, let's just kind of,
And that's when I realised he's got huge legs. I was like, what is wrong with this? I was like, that's why the pedigree hurts, because these thighs are so huge. Even that makes no sense. But... yeah.
Oh, well, but all right. So the pedigree, right?
Yep. Best move ever.
You put their head between your legs, you hook their arms, you jump up, and you sit down on their head.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, well, but first of all, their belly is facing the ground, okay? Yeah. Their belly facing the ground. It's not the other way around where your ass is buried in their face.
That'd be very weird.
yeah. But I will. Okay. I was thinking, how do you? It's one of those things where you got to take a front bump, but you got to you kind of make sure their head is pinned in your thighs above the ground.
Yeah.
So when your knees land, but I wouldn't say his knees must be in I don't know, one hell of a condition, you know.
Yeah, because
But he doesn't seem to be walking with any issues.
no, because he must have had like the best knee pads of all time.
Yeah, with the amount of pedigrees he's been dropping on people.
Yeah, he's been doling them out for like 30 years. Well,
Oh, so
25.
when was the turning point for you? You're saying when he lost the tights, right? Was
Yep.
the turning point of when he was cemented as a main eventer in your head, right?
Yep.
But was there any? But that's a kind of okay. What specific period of time?
Yeah, literally, as soon as he joined the corporation.
Yeah.
Actually, no, because he was still wearing the long legs stuff for a bit. It was near the end of the corporate ministry, and then when he started feuding with The Rock again, and he changed to the pants. So yeah.
I would say, I mean, look, he, even though he had the world title a couple of times by this point, and he was with Stephanie, and he was feuding with Vince McMahon and whatever, right?
Yeah.
I think the time when I started to take him seriously as a legitimate world title main eventer was when he was having that feud with Cactus Jack.
Yeah, Royal Rumble 2000.
Yeah. And this was because, by the way, more on Cactus Jack's side of how to put someone over, because Cactus Jack was known as a maniac since WCW.
Yeah.
And so when they had the disqualification match, whatever it is, Street Fight, right? And Triple H pedigreed Mick Foley. This isn't a hardcore match with. Did they have a flaming barbed wire 2x4 as well on top?
On top of the cage, isn't it?
I don't know exactly. I don't know. I just know this was nuts because Cactus Jack took a pedigree.
Yeah.
Right, and he kicked out.
Yeah.
And then basically Triple H just yanked him up and pedigreed him onto his thumbtacks. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's ruthless, right? But that helped him.
Yeah. Cement
look like
how violent
a man who
he
will
is.
do anything to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause speaking of that,
Yeah.
I remember watching that match in history, in a history lesson, because I recorded it, and our history teacher liked wrestling, and she goes, "Oh yeah, bring it in, and we can watch it." So I remember us watching it, and then when that bit happened, she's like, "Wow, this is very violent." I was like, "Yeah,
Well, so,
Yes, it
what
is.
about you, 14-year-olds, right?
yeah."
And she's like, yeah, so pedigree on thumbtacks.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh wow." I was like, "Yeah, that was." What did we watch? And all the blood and everything. It's like, "Oh wow, this is."
Yeah, that's not a
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Should probably get arrested for that now, but
Well,
you
yeah.
know, it's 20 years later.
But that's when, like, him holding the title for that sort of period where it kind of locked him into position,
Yeah,
and then he was permanently in that position because
yeah.
he was definitely a main eventer. I'll tell you that, yeah.
Yeah,
And he did have the credibility to be in that position as well.
yeah,
Right. How much politics or whatever you want to say.
yeah,
And look, he when he wrestled his load,
yeah,
you couldn't say that he wasn't throwing his participation in the hat.
yeah.
He wasn't cherry picking who was deciding to make look good, or well,
No.
kind of, but he had to show his ability as well to be.
Yeah, like one thing I'll give it to him, he never half-assed it in the ring.
Well, when I say the match with Scott Steiner,
Yeah, but that match was
most of the time,
a
most of the
dumpster
time.
fire before it even started. So you know,
Yeah.
like when that match. Wait, was it that match when he went to do an axe handle and he just slipped? Wait, no.
With Steiner.
Yeah, no, that's a match of Test. But yeah,
Yeah. You're thinking of match of Test, yeah.
yeah, but still, Steiner at that point wasn't the genetic freak that he used to be,
Yeah.
and never was again. But yeah.
But
Oh, Lord.
later Triple H was. I think later Triple H was the better Triple H because he helped people get over, and he wasn't too worried about himself. He knew his career was coming towards a close, anyways, right? Even though he made sure he was always the authority and always in the most relevant storylines. We're talking about in ring. He the man behind the character.
I would say even earlier than that. I'll say after that triple threat WrestleMania against Shawn and he who shall not be named.
Yeah.
I think after that, where he kind of went over to sort of like putting more people over, because like he put Cena over, he put Batista over.
Yeah, I will agree as well. And do you remember? So when he put Batista over, which was more of an organic thing because the people started cheering for Batista.
Yeah.
And I think it was an Elimination Chamber match.
Yeah.
Where both Jericho and Benoit had Triple H in the Lion Tamer / Crippler Crossface, right?
Yeah.
And he was obviously, when you're in the double submission hold, you're not going to be
able to tap.
Well, you can be. You want to tap right away.
Yeah.
But they didn't want it because they had to have Batista come in and interfere because this chamber was to open next.
Yeah.
Except I think there was a bit of a
glitch.
Yeah. So Triple H was in that submission hold for a bit more sustained period of time than he should have been. I don't know if like for him. Oh yeah, I look super tough holding off 2 submissions, but realistically not. Yeah, because it wasn't planned. But I did like it how Triple H, Batista running roughshod over one, and then Triple H's character.
Yeah.
Seeing what's gonna happen, like I think Batista took a finish from someone.
Yeah.
And he could have helped, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't. He slinked in the corner and just waited, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but that's how you build.
Yeah, because they built
this WrestleMania match.
That story for about a good 2 years.
Yeah.
Which was I started off with subtle little things.
Yeah.
And then you kind of saw it when they turned on Randy Orton after he won the world title off of He Shall Not Be Named. And they started planting the seeds from then. He like more blatant, like, oh yes, this is.
Yeah, so I like they took their time to tell that, which was really good.
Yeah.
But it was funny how. So Batista won the title at WrestleMania, right?
Yeah, WrestleMania,
which was
21. Yeah.
Which was kind of funny because Triple H came out. Batista came out, I think, with a normal entrance, and then Triple H came out with a super extravagant entrance. I think they live played him or whatever, right?
Yeah, that's
it's like all right, but Batista's so plain compared to that. I'm not cussing. I'm just saying they. I don't know what you could have done with Batista. He didn't have his
he didn't have the saliva "I Walk Alone" theme.
Yeah, exactly. But Batista won that match, and then the next pay-per-view, the build-up was Triple H saying, "I see the fear in your eyes, Batista."
Yeah.
The pedigree. It put down all the men up before you and put you down as well. I see the eyes, the fear. He goes, I taste it. It is the pedigree and it is the truth, right?
Yeah.
So then I was like, right, so what's going to happen during this match is that Triple H is going to hit the pedigree and Batista will kick out and Triple H will supercell shock.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen?
No.
I was like, what? Wait, you built it.
You built it like... That match was no disqualifications. I remember Batista murdering Triple H in that match.
Oh, no, yeah. I just thought it was funny because you know how when they build stuff and you're like, yeah, okay, that's going to have a payoff. And it didn't have a payoff. No. And I was like, okay, all right.
Fair enough.
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
That was a joke. And yeah, and he put over Cena, put over Brock.
Yeah. Here's the funny thing with John Cena as well. John Cena was going through a streak where he won his, the world title, but then he was starting to get booed.
Yeah.
I think it was Christian that he was getting booed against. Chris Jericho was getting booed against. He who shall not be named, but I've named him a couple of times already.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle made Kurt Angle he made these 3 guys tap.
Yeah.
To his submission and their submission guys, which is probably didn't help the turn as well.
No.
I think did he feud with Shawn Michaels during this time?
No, I think Shawn Michaels was after. Actually, no, it might have been before because I think if I remember correctly, the original plans for WrestleMania 23 was meant to be Triple H versus Cena. Then Triple H got injured, and then Shawn Michaels took his place. Then I think it was a year after it was him and Triple H.
Yeah. By the way, that was unfortunately bad timing for Triple H, but actually good timing for the story because it made it less predictable because you were like, oh no, I think Triple H lost the WrestleMania before WrestleMania 22, and then. Because he was going to go against Cena in WrestleMania 23, I assumed that Triple H would get his win back, right? That's what I'm saying. When he got injured, it made it a bit better.
Yeah.
Oh no, hold on. Am I getting mixed up?
I'm trying to remember now. Let me quickly. Because WrestleMania 21 was him
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Batista.
Yeah.
20. Wait 1 second.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Triple H, yeah. He lost to John Cena. But but even before that, I think Triple H was basically saying he was trying the best he could to get John Cena cheered, right?
Yeah.
But he was also saying that it's the fault of the other people that they couldn't get booed against John Cena. And then he encountered the trouble himself and he realized, you know what? People the fans
It's gonna
are
boo.
not... Sorry?
He's like, yeah, the fans are just gonna boo Cena, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. To be like I'm saying, they all tried their best, but whatever the people turned against Cena by that point.
Yeah.
So he was getting his mixed reactions.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of? Okay, I thought the second DX run with Shawn Michaels was.
Yeah.
Okay, were you a fan of initial DX?
Yeah, I was.
I wasn't. I have to say I wasn't. I was more of a fan of the DX 1998 or something, whatever. What we call it.
To be fair, the first iteration of DX,
Yeah.
I did like, but didn't because I was too young to understand what it was doing.
Okay.
And then by the 98, 2000, whatever, I was slightly older, so I kind of understood. And he seemed a bit more cooler and more juvenile rather than just straight out gross. Like the first time.
I think that's why I didn't like 1997 DX.
Yeah.
Because they were too juvenile.
Now, but like, not. They were juvenile, but not like in a, haha, I'm a teen, I get it. They were sort of like, you're too old to be doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you mean, yeah.
Yeah. So, but when it was 1998, they took themselves more seriously. Triple H, I mean, Shawn Michaels left by that point, and Triple H, dude, that's when I was a fan of that. Even though, looking back at it now, right?
Yeah. Highly offensive.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that, unless you're talking about the Nation of Domination parody, which was something else altogether, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
Yeah, yeah. But it's funny because as over as they were,
Yeah.
look, X-Pac's good in the ring, right?
Yeah, he is.
But he wasn't main event level talent.
No.
Road Dogg and Billy Gunn surprisingly got they were good in the tag division, but they weren't main event level talent either. And somehow they managed to get really, really popular. So yeah, I mean, I was a fan of them as well. But when you look back at it, you're thinking, how did this? It's just, I guess, the attitude that they came across with. I mean, they had bags of charisma as well.
Yeah.
It gelled. It was quite cool.
Yeah. I wasn't too much of a fan of Degeneration X 2006 or version 3, whatever, right? The second
incarnation of the original incarnation. Yeah, whatever.
yeah.
Convoluted thing there.
Yeah, because they had to be really tame.
Yeah.
And when I say tame, I mean, I don't want to go juvenile, but they were not the same as their original run, and they weren't even kind of the same as the 2.0 run.
No.
Yeah.
It was kind of like dad joke DX sort of thing. Yeah.
But that's also when they reformed in 2009 as well.
Did they reform in 2009?
That's when they won the tag titles.
Oh, yeah. Yep, sorry, I couldn't remember.
But I think one of them get injured during the first DX run. The second reunion.
Yeah, because it happened not long after WrestleMania 22.
Yeah.
And then that's why WrestleMania 23 was Shawn Michaels DX versus Cena. And then I think after that, they reformed, like you said,
Yeah. So but onto the actual in-ring abilities, right?
Yeah.
What would you say? What off your top of your head? What would you say some of your more favorite Triple H matches for whatever reason? You know, I mean, let's just say there's some matches people have that aren't that great, but you remember it for certain things, and you're like, you know, I quite enjoyed watching that.
One I often rewatch
is Triple H versus Undertaker at WrestleMania 27? Wait,
20, the cage match.
yeah, the
That's
end of
28,
an era
yeah.
match.
Yeah, that's 28, I think it was.
That's a dope match.
Yeah, because 27 is the one where it was Triple H versus Undertaker, right? But where Undertaker barely... They start, actually, you know, to be honest, that match started really hot at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Because Triple H was going to get revenge for Undertaker retiring Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
But they started too hard and too fast. I think by the time you got to the meat of the match, when I was watching it live, right? When I watch it later, it's different, right? But when I was watching it, they had to slow down for the amount of what they were doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? This match couldn't keep the speed that it was going at. But then it couldn't. It was how could you?
Yeah. It couldn't.
Yeah.
Actually, another one, which is pretty good. I think it's WrestleMania might be 17.
Yeah.
The first ever Undertaker versus Triple H, but it had some like weird.
Where he got
brawl
chick
around.
slammed off the structure.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that wasn't bad either. Yeah. I think that was when though Triple H was starting to gain momentum. Hold on. What WrestleMania was that?
I think it's 17. I think it's either 17 or 18.
Was that after? Was that when he was trying to establish himself as honestly top of the food chain, but more?
I don't know, because
I could pick fights with anyone.
Yeah, because this one Taker was Biker Taker as well.
Yeah.
And then that's when he went for the last ride and Triple H hit him with a sledgehammer. That was dope.
Yeah.
Let me check this.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not 18.
I will say as well, he had a good 3 stages of Hell match against Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Which was a weird one because the first one was a normal match. The second match was a hardcore. Was it a street fight?
Yes.
And the third one was a Hell in a Cell.
Yes.
But Steve Austin won the Royal Rumble at this point, and he was going to face The Rock at WrestleMania, the next pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So I wasn't more angry that Triple H won this match. It just didn't make sense. But how they did it made it look like a Triple H fluke victory as well, which I don't know how much it helped him. But what they did is they're both hitting each other with, like, Triple H had a sledgehammer, Austin had a barbed wire baseball bat, whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
And they both hit each other at the same time. And Triple H then, as they fell on the floor, Triple H fell on top of Austin, and then he got the 3 count.
Yeah.
Which was, and then when they both got up, right, later after selling, Stone Cold stunned Triple H. I was like, all right, fair enough. But I'm not saying Austin should have won it or whatever, right? But it's just that it's really odd booking that match in between where you're having Steve Austin be your number 1 contender for that match for the WrestleMania.
You know, it's like, it's weird when wrestling does these sort of things, because I remember, I think it was like SummerSlam 2014, where it was one of the matches on the card wouldn't be. This is just after the Shield broke up and all that, you know.
Yeah.
It was one of the matches on the SummerSlam card was Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
But the week before, or the Raw leading up to that, they had a match. I can't remember if it was like a tag team match or whatever. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. It was a single match between them two. And Roman Reigns won. So I was like, what? So what's the point of having the match at SummerSlam?
Yeah.
I mean, like, hurts my brain.
Yeah. But other standout Triple H matches, the tag match, like the 2-man power trip versus
Chris Jericho and Chris Jericho, yeah.
Yeah, Chris Jericho, that's right. That was actually well, okay.
That was an awesome match.
Well, I really liked it, but then when I watch it again,
it's
not much wrestling going on. It's more brawling, but that's not the point, right?
Yeah.
It had all the atmosphere, and it had the 2 main eventers, and then you had the people they were helping elevate as well in the process.
Yeah,
that kind of made everyone. And they were getting pushed to the top as well at the same time. So it's like, you know what, this could go either way.
Yeah.
I will say Triple H has had quite a lot of matches against Shawn Michaels, which were pretty good as well.
Yeah, I don't think they had a stinker out of those two.
the unsanctioned street fight. I remember when Shawn Michaels first came back,
Yeah.
and they had the gimmick like they had to. It was a hardcore match, and they kind of used all the gimmicks and shortcuts.
Yeah.
But Shawn Michaels, they didn't know how prime condition Shawn Michaels was at that point, so they did what they needed. They thought they had to do to cover up any deficiencies. I will say, when after Shawn Michaels won the match and rolled up from the pedigree, it was great because Triple H got a sledgehammer. He was working on Shawn Michaels' back through the entire thing. So again, he got a sledgehammer, and then he hit Shawn Michaels in his upper back area.
Neck? Yeah.
Yeah. They should have hit him in the spine, really, actually,
Yeah.
Right. But anyways, and JR was like, what's wrong with you? Do you have, what's it called? Do you have no compassion? Do you have no soul, you bastard? And I was like, that was a great line. I don't know exactly what he said, but it was along those lines.
It was one of those lines. It's like, oh, wow, this adds to...
Does he have no soul? And Triple H is there smirking as he's walking away. I was like, yeah. That's exactly what you needed for this character.
Yeah. Like you're saying, like, when he needs to be, he was an awesome, like, violent heel, which is great.
Another match I like of his is I think it's Unforgiven. No, it's Armageddon 2008, where it's the main event. It's Triple H, Edge, and Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
And this is when Jeff Hardy finally wins the title.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that match as well.
And speaking of all the times that Triple H has buried Jeff Hardy, right?
Yeah.
I think there was the pay-per-view before Armageddon, or, there was a Triple H versus Jeff Hardy match where actually Jeff Hardy nearly won.
Yeah.
He basically pinned, he had Triple H, he swanton Triple H, right? And then he did a kind of like a, not like a tactical pin, but he reached back to pin him.
Yeah, and Triple
H rolled him over.
Yeah. But at a very weak rollover.
Yeah.
Because he was saying how much he got beat. And I was like, oh, that's how you put someone over.
Yeah.
By beating them.
Yeah.
Because you could barely do it yourself.
And that's why when Jeff Hardy finally got that win.
Yeah.
Like, to me, this was weird, accidental, long-term booking. Like, all the, like, burials of Jeff Hardy and stuff. So when he finally gets that win over Triple H.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, wow, this is...
Well, would you say that's long-term booking from when he buried him in 2000...
Yeah.
Was it 1999?
Yeah, it would be 1999,
Yeah. So are you saying this is a 10-year... You're telling me Triple H is a super genius because he had a 10-year booking plan?
Yes, accidentally, yes. Like, to be fair, all the good things in wrestling happen accidentally. When they happen to, like, realise, oh, wait, we're onto something. Let's carry on now that we've sort of realised this is a thing. I.e., the Undertaker streak. That was... You could tell that was accidental when they just went with it when they realised, oh, we've actually built something without knowing. Let's promote it. Yay.
Oh, okay. So as I'm looking at something here.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 25.
Yep.
Did not make any sense to me because it's the blood feud where Randy Orton asks your wife handcuff you to the ring while you watch her get beat up or whatever. He invades your house. Whatever nuttiness he does. He punt kicks you or someone or something like that.
Punt kicks your father-in-law.
Yeah. And then you decide to wrestle him in a normal one-on-one match with chain wrestling at the beginning.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, the second move off that's an RKO. If I remember correctly, I can't remember. The match starts off weird. I'm like, oh, that's a bit strange. But alright, sure, I guess.
If anything, that should have been like a hardcore match or whatever.
Yeah, like you're saying, it's a blood feud, Blood should have been spilt, but whatever, I guess. Yeah,
well, what I'm saying is, if you do any damage to my family or whatever, I'm just gonna say, yo, let's start chain wrestling, and then everyone's just start booing us.
Yeah, that was so stupid.
Yeah.
But then the next year he had a banger match, if I remember correctly.
Wait, what was his match at WrestleMania 26?
Who?
Triple H.
Which one? At 26?
Yeah.
I'm
pretty sure a title may have been involved.
Title?
Yeah, I don't know.
Triple H. Randy Orton, John Cena, Triple H.
Oh yeah, and that's
threat.
when Randy Orton punts him in the brain again. Yeah, and he retains the title. Yeah. That was an okay match.
Yeah. Do you think he should have had the amount of title reigns? Said 14 title reigns. Yeah.
Actually, no. WrestleMania 26 was him and Sheamus. That is so weird.
Is it 26?
Yeah.
What am I looking at? All right. Okay, give me a second.
That's so weird.
26. Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I'm looking at 24. I'm looking at 24.
So. That's so weird. Sorry. What?
Yeah, because it's the Roman figures, and then I got mixed up.
Yeah.
But yeah. Do you think he should have had the amount of title reigns that he did? Okay, we're not disputing that he should have won the title, world title, right?
Yeah.
World heavyweight title, whichever titles, right?
Yeah.
All right, but do you reckon he should have had the amount of title reigns that he did have?
If I'm honest, he should have had more.
Oh, controversial. I would have. I think he should have. I think he should have had less. But we're not talking about like 10 titles reign less than he has, right?
Yeah.
But I think he got just a bit greedy at some points where he didn't need to have the title and decided that he just wanted the title, so he's going to take it. He's just going to have a run with it.
Well, I'm going to say so. You can't say that he said that he's going to take it. No. When you're married to the boss's daughter, you can say that. But he could say that, but I doubt he has as much power as we think he does.
Yeah. Maybe that is true as well. Maybe that's true as well. But you're saying you reckon he should have had more titles.
If anything, right? I got two thoughts on this.
Yeah,
he should have either had more title reigns, like he should have tied with Cena and Ric Flair,
but which are only two more than him.
Yeah,
at this point.
But he, like he said, he never wanted to get that far.
Okay,
because of respect for Flair.
Yeah.
Or he should have had slightly lesser reigns but longer.
Yes, that's what I was going to go for. Yeah. I wasn't going to dunk on a guy and just say he should have just cancelled out like 5 of his title reigns.
Yeah.
But he could have, and had, because some of his title reigns literally only have a month between them.
Yeah.
Or something really short.
Yeah.
And you're doing better off just tying those together and had an extended run.
Yeah, that's like, I've always had a problem with like sort of wrestling when it comes to title reigns. Like realistically, the more title reigns you have, the worse wrestler you technically are.
Yes.
To lose that belt that many times.
So when our boy The Rock wins his titles and basically just loses them 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're like, I don't know about that.
Like, shouldn't it be like, my goal is to have this title as long as I can, not as many times as I can. That just makes me like a 16-time loser, really.
Yeah, and the other thing is as well, because he's always with these factions.
Yeah.
Then they always interfere in his behalf. So he could have had these longer title reigns that made more sense.
Yeah. Because, really, that kind of helped him as well. Like, when Batista beat him for the World Heavyweight title, that was a big thing. It's like, wow, this guy's technically been, we'll say undefeated, but you know what I mean, on top for so long, and now this animal has dethroned the King of Kings.
Yeah.
Before he was King of Kings. He was just
when he put someone over, he helped. When he wanted to put someone over, he helped put them over good.
Yeah.
And that that doesn't happen all the time, right?
No.
But when I say he wanted, there's some people you put over and you're like, all right, fair enough. But then some people you're like, I'll truly put this person over at the expense of myself,
Yeah, like he did with Seth.
Yeah.
He put Dean over even though he beat Dean, which is pretty...
it's a bit of that's an awkward one, and I might put that as more of a middle ground one. Yeah. However, they were going to the Roman Reigns storyline, so I think he just got caught in the middle there.
Yeah. It did help.
I don't know if he would have put Dean over or not, but he was never in the position where he kind of could.
I think he would have put, because Dean was one of his guys.
Yeah.
So I think he would have put him over.
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
But that was kind of a different... I wanted to have a situation where you couldn't not put him over at that point.
Yeah. But then,
he got himself so over.
It's one of those situations, though, where I'll say, if Triple H was all, power hungry as people claim he is,
Yeah.
he would have just beat Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30 and not cared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, but I think that he was coming to the end of his career, so I don't think he cared at that point either. But I did like that match. It was really good, and then I also liked how later on, first of all, how brutal Triple H was, right? When he Daniel Bryan must really trust this guy because Daniel Bryan was handcuffed and got beat up and thrown around the ring.
Yeah.
In the lead up, right?
Yeah.
But then as well during the match, Triple H gave him a dragon suplex.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're just throwing this guy right on top of his head.
Yep.
Like, he was busting out moves he hadn't done. And I don't know if that's necessarily, but when you're in the ring with Daniel Bryan, he'll tell you to do stuff, yeah?
Yeah.
Or change up your way, if it is. Because I've never seen Triple H do it before. But more like, at that point in the match, because he's fed up with the guy, who's like, you know what, I'm just going to break his neck and I can murder him.
Yeah, no one's going to care.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to care anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna watch me commit a murder. It was actually quite a good build in the match within itself. It's just like, I'm just gonna get more brutal, and then I'm just gonna start, and then only that, I'm just gonna,
Yeah.
I'm gonna break this guy's neck to put him down.
That was cool.
And then I'm gonna gloat as well.
It was again, that was an awesome match. Even when he came out the end, trying to stop him winning against.
Yeah.
Batista,
Quite a good payoff for a feud that they didn't want to do. Not Triple H didn't want to do.
Yeah.
The WWE didn't want to do. Actually, end up really coming off really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
I also liked, I don't know if you remember that far back, the ladder match Triple H had with The Rock. You know what? The Triple H Rock feud?
Underrated.
Yeah.
Like, I'm one of those people, I prefer the Triple H Rock feud over the Austin Rock feud.
The Triple H Rock feud when they're DX and the Nation, right?
Yeah. From going all the way from that and
Yeah.
and then when it kind of swapped over when he was part of the corporate ministry and The Rock was on his own. All that stuff. Yeah, I think that's one of my personal favourite rivalries, Triple H and The Rock. I'll take that over The Rock and Stone Cold.
Now, at the time I was watching it,
Yeah.
I thought when Rock won the title, I thought we got an over pushed.
Yeah.
Because they were elevating Triple H at the same time, and they were kind of relatively neck and neck.
Yeah.
Except I think Triple H won the Intercontinental title, the ladder match, right? Which wasn't a bad ladder match.
No, it's a good match.
The thing is, he needed help from China to win.
Yeah.
I think. Oh no, Triple H got blinded by Mark Henry with the powder, right?
Yeah.
And he couldn't climb the ladder properly. So The Rock was just like, I'm going to climb the ladder now, right? Because I'm up and able. And Triple H China low blowed The Rock.
Yeah.
And Triple H won. Yeah, it made sense. Sense because if he was able to see, he wouldn't have needed that extra help.
Yeah.
But basically, he won the feud, and then The Rock's got elevated.
Yeah.
Which was a bit weird, but they needed a main event heel, so fair enough. Fair dues. Yeah, but I like that ladder match because it's different from the other ladder matches at the time.
Yeah.
It was less stunt work, more ring work.
Yeah,
because they couldn't with The Rock and Triple H, right? Not because their wrestling ability, but they don't have the same abilities as Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels. And when I say abilities, I don't mean like the physicals, what they can and cannot do.
I get what you mean, because when you think about it, The Rock and Triple H are technically the same, not same wrestler, but same body type and everything. So it would be not harder, but they would have to wrestle a different sort of ladder match compared to like Razor and Shawn, because Shawn was obviously the lighter guy, so he can So their ladder match, The Rock and Triple H's ladder match, was kind of more brutal because it was like two just big dudes hurting each other. Yeah,
more about the dramatics of it, right?
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that. I thought it was pretty good.
That was great.
Yeah.
I did. This is gonna sound like a weird one.
Yeah.
And many people can disagree with me on this one. Actually, I got two people.
Go on.
All right. I liked Roman versus Triple H at WrestleMania 32.
All right.
And it's gonna sound weird. Why?
Yeah.
Because at first you could tell he was trying to get Roman over,
Yeah.
Then halfway through, we thought, you know what, they're not gonna boo him. Screw it, and then just became like suck it Triple H by like doing the crotch chop and all that. I was like, I like this, and also his entrance was awesome.
Hold on. Let's put it another way though. And I'm not dunking on the guy once again when I'm saying this, but if that happened to like not anyone else, okay, but let's just say Triple H was the person, and then the other person in the ring was like, you know what, I'm not getting the reaction. This guy's not getting reactions he should. I'm just gonna switch my character.
Yeah.
But I don't think Triple H would be happy with that. However, not to say Triple H was like a point in the position where he could do whatever he wanted. Just like, you know, he read the crowd and he's like, right, well, we're either going to come out with a massive stinker and make us both look bad, or well, someone's going to have to do something. And I'm the guy in who's leading the match, because he was usually lead the match. Yeah. But then you're booking yourself as a face, which is weird.
Yeah. Big. Because like, the thing is, like we're saying, like you said, the match was going null void at the point anyway. It's like,
It's dying as. Oh yeah. But what was the other one you were saying? By the way, I kind of have to agree with you as well, because Roman wasn't getting the reaction he should, and they all tried everything to help him. So I don't see why they just didn't book it as face Triple H versus. I know whatever, right? Roman would have got the booze that he would have got, regardless, right? But at least you would have got a cheers to the appropriate. You'd have been like, you crowd can choose who you want to cheer, except that we know who you're going to cheer because it's not going to be Roman, right? Yeah. But like I say, I think they tried to get him over first, and then realized it's not. Yeah, in the match, which is really weird. It's like you can read in the middle of the match, this ain't going the right way. As long as we've tried to build towards it, it's not working.
No.
Yeah.
And then also the year before that, because I was there, this is probably why I enjoyed the match the most. Not the most, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Because even though the outcome makes no logical sense, whatever. Yeah. But it was Sting versus Triple H.
Yeah.
I love that match because it makes little to no sense.
I will say that Triple H knows how to book matches around certain people's. Well, okay, he knows how to get the reactions he needs for certain matches. I will say that, yeah. And when I mean that's a smart move, because sometimes you like with Sting, you don't know how capable he is at this point.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, he was like 57 at that point as well.
Yeah. Exactly. Book all the shortcuts you need to get a good match, right? Yeah. Which is why we see Sting now in the 60s doing cinematic matches or mixed tag matches and stuff. Not mixed tag, I mean like tag team style matches, like 6-man or tornado tags and stuff like that. You've got to hide the deficiency. Yeah, so that's all good. And Triple H knows how to hide his own as well. Yeah, it's smart. But that was a nostalgia trip, and I give it a pass like you, because it's not the greatest match in the world.
No, it's not the greatest match in the world, but like all the theatrics and all that makes it kind of awesome.
Even though there's no logical sense for the NWO to interfere on Sting's behalf, right?
Well, like if you want to reach, like super reach, you can find logical sense behind it. Even then, that's kind of stupid. Yeah. But like this is how I sort of made it make sense to me, but I had to jump over so many hoops to get there.
Yeah.
All right. The NWO came out to help Sting because they felt bad for basically killing WCW. So it's like, we need to make up for what we did.
Yeah.
Which can make sense.
Yeah.
If you sort of said it rather than just come out like, oh, they're here to help Sting? Question mark.
Yeah.
Oh, they are. Okay, cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like in the moment when I was there, I popped like, oh yeah, that's amazing. And then when I went home, I was like, that made no sense.
Yeah.
Why? That's like, Doomsday one day coming to help Superman fight Darkseid just because.
Yeah. Yeah, which is kind of funny when you look at the amount of people in the ring that are Triple H's friends, right?
Yeah.
Not say he gave his friends a payday, but only Sting and Hogan were not friends with Triple H.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels, then Nash, Hall, X-Pac.
Outlaws, X-Pac, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Match is the best.
Yeah. Well, look. Look, he had a good career.
Yeah.
Right. He had actually quite a lot of memorable matches, to be fair, as well.
Yeah.
You're saying that you buy less into how his backstage self was, and it's not as bad as people think it is.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad as people think it is. Like,
Right.
I think some people just like bite onto that just because they can. But then you have, I'm not saying that, like, okay, it's like, not to harp on this person or whatever, but like, people go on about the whole CM Punk thing. But
Yeah.
from what we've all heard, CM Punk's a dick himself. So,
Yeah.
you know, kettle calling the pot black, you know, it's a bit.
Oh yeah, but I think it's different when you're in a position of power and you're being a dick,
Yeah, it
rather
is.
than just being a dick and you have no power. Which I don't want to say which one's better or not,
I know
but
about to say that.
it is one of those odd positions where you're like, they're both bad, yeah?
Yeah.
But if you have power and be a dick, people can't say anything to you. Whereas if you're being a dick and you have no power, people just think you're a dick.
Yeah. I don't know which one's worse. But then when you got power, you can kind of use that as it's my job. So
Yeah,
you know?
I know that
It's a weird one.
yeah,
It's a weird one.
yeah,
What?
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Look, but yeah, I will say,
But like, I'll say this as well. Like, I would say in the last, like, say 10 years, he's done more positive than negative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Like NXT and stuff like that.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I think his incarnation of NXT, incarnation of NXT with their takeovers,
Yeah.
which were on the Saturday before the Sunday pay-per-views,
Yeah.
mostly the takeovers were actually better.
Yeah, exactly. And that's because he sort of, like, gets wrestling and he knows what people like. That's why NXT worked.
Yeah.
Like,
Not to say, it's all about him, but
No.
it's less about him, but more about how what his capabilities as a booker was. So he still wanted to look good, but not in a nasty way. I'm saying, this time, right? He wanted to be like the best product he can.
yeah.
And he was doing good,
Yeah.
and then
And
he got taken away from him. So you're like,
got
nah.
NXT 2.0.
Yeah.
And like, and if you look at it, like,
Yeah.
whenever people have left the WWE in the last, like, say 5-6 years or whatever,
Yeah.
they've never said anything bad about Triple H. It's always been like, you know what? Thank you, Triple H. You did this for me. Blah blah blah. Anyway, at least the people who's come through NXT,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? They've never said a bad word about him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, look, there's obviously negatives and positives, right?
yeah,
I will say the man himself put a series of good matches on that are memorable and mostly memorable feuds, right? Some people you can't help, like with Roman Reigns and John Cena. You know, no one could get the correct amount of boos or whatever, right?
no,
Yeah. As for his backstage persona, look here and there. Right? He made the show mostly about him sometimes, right? When it didn't need to be.
yeah,
But you already, I don't want to say, you defended that point. However, we can also argue the other side of it, right?
yeah,
However you want to put it.
yeah,
But like saying the last decade plus,
yeah,
when he's less of an active wrestler and more semi-retired,
yeah. He's been better.
yeah. Even though he still does stuff like The Authority is all about me, but that's
But
he
that
doesn't mind
was-
putting people over.
Yeah, that was story wise.
Yeah.
I guess I'm pretty sure he probably didn't want anything to do with it, but you know.
Well, no, I say well because we will never know. I'm not saying well because
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
We'll never know.
But yeah. So as the wrestler goes and not the character, right? Mostly good and some bad on your behalf. You're saying, yeah. And I'm saying there's stuff that he could have done better, right? but we'll never know if that's him or the shenanigans. Who exactly the shenanigans were from, right?
Yeah.
Because it could just be him saying, for example, not saying he did, I don't want to put this person over, I want to bury them, whatever, right? I will affect my position, however you want to put it, right?
Yeah, but then...
but we'll never know if he actually did do that. I mean,
Yeah,
he just got lost to
exactly.
Hogan, and I'm sure he didn't want to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, he could have pulled a Steve Austin and just went home.
Yeah.
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 Because we know Austin used his veto power a couple of times.
Yeah,
like.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and to be honest as well, he did help his. I want to say his underling, like some of the DX, right? Some of the the DX98, right?
Yeah.
Got over, but they kind of really shouldn't have.
Yeah. I.e. Billy Gunn. Yeah.
Yeah. But he helped. He tried to attach his name to them, to elevate them as well. So yeah. Even though, like you're saying, some of them can't be helped.
No.
At all. Yeah.
And also, we didn't really touch upon it, but I'm just quickly to say it.
Yeah.
I would say he's probably one of the best promos in wrestling as well, if I'm honest.
Would you say it? Okay, pre-game.
Post game and nowadays.
All right, but what about when he was at the end of every sentence?
No, I didn't really care for that.
I think he tried something and then he got rightly mocked for it.
Yeah.
Like, why do you need to grunt and growl at the end of it? Like, rock.
Because, like, one of my favorite promos of his is when, I think it was Johnny Authority era, when he goes, you know, I was at home with my friend Mark and we was on the internet and I was like, I see what he's doing there. Yeah. He's cussing the internet fans. I will
look. He could cut a good promo, right?
Yeah.
Depending on what it is as well. Sometimes, like you're saying, it's the DX dad jokes, and you're like, oh,
yeah.
Right? And sometimes when he gets intense, that's cool as well, right?
Yeah.
When it's the mocking heel, I will say I wasn't a fan of the undertones that the WrestleMania 19 match had with Booker T. And yeah, that was a bit awkward.
Yeah, super awkward.
Well, which is why Booker T should have won.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you can't say the stuff you're saying and then pretend it's not exactly about that when it kind of is, but isn't, and then make him lose as well, just to confirm everything you said.
Yeah, so stupid.
Yeah. and then they try to play it off like, no, I didn't mean that. I meant because he's a WCW wrestler or something like that. That's why he's underneath me.
Yeah, like, nah, dude.
You said what you said. Yeah.
Other than that, it's like, if you're going that way, go fully into it rather than backing off, saying, no, we mean it. No, just go for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just, that's what I would have personally said and done. Like, yeah, just go all in on the racist angle rather than backtracking. Like, no, we meant that he's from WCW and they're different kinds of people. No.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know if he did backtrack. I don't know if he specifically said that was because he's from WCW or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But he did backtrack upon what he said.
Yeah.
To make it less like what he said, but he kind of made it worse because then he drew attention to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Rather than say, right, so it's like he said what he said, and then he's like, no, that's what all you fans are thinking it's saying. It's not this. And then you already pointed out it is that.
Yeah, you're like, wait, we didn't think that until you said it.
No, we thought that, right? But you could pretend that you didn't think that.
Yeah.
And now you're saying, now you pointed out that specifically, we know that you thought that, and you're trying to counter us.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but he is a good promo.
Yeah.
Once he found his character.
Yeah.
Once he found, I didn't like I said, the DX97. I think he got better. When he was the leader of DX, so he got more screen time, and then it's like AJ Styles. The more you get to practice it, the more you can do stuff. But also, you need a gimmick as well that allows you to backtrack on certain things. So once he had the game gimmick, he kind of, if he lost track of whatever you need to say, he was like, I am the game, you know?
Yeah.
And then you could always pedal your promo to that.
Yeah.
And then tailor it back to whatever it is.
Because he's the game and he's that damn good. Yeah.
Exactly. Once you got a catchphrase and a gimmick character and stuff like that, you can do what you need to do.
Yeah. Before we wrap this up.
Yep.
So you said your favorite persona of Triple H was when he was the game or the King of Kings?
Oh, ooh. Okay, what era? Well, it's more like what's the era? What era of Triple H, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, okay, not the DX, right? Oh, no. DX 98, right? When he was the leader of DX.
Yeah.
That's notable because it helped elevate him, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say my favorite era of Triple H, but it's definitely a highlight of the Triple H era. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what? It might be the 2-man power trip.
Yeah, that was a cool era.
Yeah. But I want to say, I know you said Reign of Terror, but I don't think myself with the back and forth and certain feuds going on at that time.
Yeah, that was a bit.
Yeah.
Like,
because first of all, he didn't help Goldberg much, right?
No.
I'm not saying he should have, but whether we disagree on that. But I'm just saying, you know, you didn't help Goldberg there. You didn't help Jericho. You didn't help RVD. You definitely helped Steiner, but whether he deserved to be helped or not. But then you had KU Vic Kane as well.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, he helped people. But yeah, I'll probably have to say maybe his later incarnation, like come near the end, maybe my favorite Triple H, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
When he sort of didn't care but cared.
So would you say this? Okay. There is when you account for certain things, right?
Yeah.
That's always been built within the character, and then you can say what happened to the man as well. But the character is consistent, right?
Yeah.
Because he's like always been second to someone, right?
Yeah.
Until he got the spotlight.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I've got an inferiority complex because I've been number 2 for so long, right?
Yeah.
I'm number 1 now, and I'm going to stay number 1. I'm going to surround myself with everyone that keeps me in my position.
Yeah.
Right? Not saying, obviously, if that's the real life or not, but the character progression from that to that.
Yeah,
to
that
there.
makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. When you look at it that way, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And then he kind of ran with it, I guess. He's like...
Because he's fed off being in everyone's shadow, so now he is...
There was a promo that Shawn Michaels cut, I think, when Shawn Michaels was commissioner and The Rock was... the Triple H and The Rock are having a feud.
Yeah.
And then Shawn Michaels said, Rock, you don't bother challenging this guy. He's never been in main events. He's always just hung around with main eventers.
Yeah.
Right? And I think from that point, you could not say, oh, that's where you have the leaf turned, where he's like, I'm going to do my bet. My best friend, right? My former mentor just mocked me, right? And he's a heel as well. So he's just calling me utter trash. And all this time he was just pitying me.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna get on top now, and I'm just gonna stay there for the rest of my life. You know.
Because I did. Now you brought that up. Like I think it was he did an interview with Jim Ross. I think it might be when he left DX or whatever.
Yeah.
And he brought up how he basically got punished those 2 years after the curtain call thing.
Yeah.
And that kind of added to his sort of character as well. Like, oh well. He brought in a real life thing that no one actually knew about at this point, and you brought up.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have noticed until he brought up, like, oh yeah, they did treat him like crap.
So how much of the man behind the character believed in this or not?
Yeah.
At least you can say, all right, so here's the cookie crumbs.
Yeah.
That lead the trail of what's happened later on.
Yeah.
That all makes sense.
Yeah.
Very consistent, I will say as well.
His character's been consistent. That's right, and that's a rare thing in wrestling.
Because it's like, no matter what, I can never lose my position.
Yeah, consistent. Yeah.
All right. So should we? Anything else you want to say for Triple H, or should we sign off?
We sign off. I just want to say, I know he's not going to hear this, but I want to say thank you, Triple H, for keeping me entertained in wrestling since 2000. When I started to care about you.
Okay. You know what? Yeah. I will. Well, no, but for me it was 98. Though then it flipped. It kind of flickered in and out between certain things. Like what he was doing and not you know.
It's like during '98, like the whole DX thing. I liked him in DX, but I was the X-Pac fan, so I was like, oh,
it's true. It's true.
X-Pac,
it's true.
My guy.
But the man did a lot of good.
Yep.
But also is notorious to the point where you don't know how much he did backstage that kind of is not so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like you said, it could have been him, it might not have been him. But you lump it with him, like you lump stuff with Vince Russo because it's notorious.
Yeah, exactly. Even though he's probably not done as bad as Vince Russo. Well,
no.
yeah.
It's the reputation precedes the actual person.
Yeah.
Because there's so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even when in the Montreal Screwjob, did you watch Wrestling with Shadows? Yeah.
Yeah.
And Julie Hart basically said, "Did you have anything to do with it?" And Triple H lies to her face.
Yeah.
And then years later, he said, "Yeah, I was the one that put the thoughts in their head about screwing Bret Hart." I'm like, you're a joke.
And I think that's kayfabe.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But whatever, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it was in Shawn Michaels' biography that he decided not to take the blame for it and said, and Triple H, because in Shawn Michaels' biography, he said Triple H came up with the idea of why don't we take the title from him if he doesn't want to do business?
Yeah.
So but it's a Shawn Michaels biography, and some people say that belongs in the fiction section, not the non-fiction section. Yeah. So we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, because I say, the Montreal Screwjob, everyone's wrong in that, no matter who it is. Brett's wrong, Sean's wrong, Vince is wrong, everyone's wrong in it.
There's a way to do it that everyone could have been happy.
No, I don't think there was. I think there was.
But we'll go into that. That's not. Yeah, that's not a discussion for this time.
No.
Yeah. All right. So that is us signing off with this look back at Triple H's, the man himself, Triple H's career.
King of Kings.
We might do a character one later on or something like that, but that's another thing that we'll speak about.
Yeah. King of Kings.
I am the man with that dressed with a Terminator exoskeleton on myself to fight the undead Sting.
Yeah, because he was the Terminator hunter.
Yeah.
I love that entrance so much. It makes no sense. Yeah. And I am the grandfather of NXT, Carl Charles.
Yeah, he is. Well, I don't know. Because it's been taken away from him now, isn't it?
Yeah. The ex-father of NXT.
Yeah.
You know.
The stepfather?
Nah, the divorced father that only can see his kids on weekends. Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, that's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
That's so sad. Yeah, and thank you for listening to us go on about the King of Kings, one of my top 10 favorite wrestlers of all times. If you have any Paul Levesque moments that you like, or come to your memory, let us know through the Instagram, the Twitter, drop us an email. Also, sorry this episode's quite long because the man deserved it, I guess. Yeah, and don't forget to sub to our YouTube channel. I'm doing some little experiments over there, so go and check that out. And just like to say thank you for taking a trip with us around the multiverse. And see you next time.
Bye.
It's been a while, Seth. You said something interesting. Fresh start. See, every day that you wake up, you have an opportunity for a fresh start. A fresh start at life, to do anything you want to do. It's never been more true than it is right now here in the WWE. Nothing is going to be handed to anybody anymore. There is going to be no automatic anything. Which is why I'm here to tell you that your automatic rematch for the Intercontinental Championship that you think was going to happen here tonight is not going to happen. And Seth, I gotta be honest with you, I'm not sure you deserve a rematch anyway.
I've been carrying Monday Night Raw on my back for the last year. And you know what? Brock Lesnar was somewhere up in Saskatchewan doing whatever Brock Lesnar does. I was here in this ring every single week, churning out classics with Finn Balor, with Dolph Ziggler, with Mojo Rawley of all people. And you think I'm asking? You know what? I'm glad you're not handing anything out anymore, because I want to earn my opportunities. What do you want, huh? You want that ruthless bastard? You want that soulless guy who will do whatever it takes to get what he wants? Is that who you want?
Yes. That is exactly what I want, and I want it to start tonight. I want you to burn it all down, starting tonight with the almighty Bobby Lashley.
All right, Bobby Lashley, I'll burn Bobby Lashley down, no problem. I will take everything he's got to give, and then I will take everything Dean Ambrose has got to give, including the Intercontinental Championship, and you know what? After that, I'll take anyone who gets in my way. I'll take Brock Lesnar if he gets in my way. I'll take the Universal title if that gets in my way. And I'll take down your whole damn family if you get in my way.